The lynnvenet Community Trust is basically a group of residents from our village. We got together as the result of a housing needs survey which was carried out in late 2008, which identified 23 people in need of affordable homes in our community, and that was the start of the formation of the group. To a certain extent it's been a very interesting journey. It's been a challenging journey. We registered our company in August 2009, which was the first stage, developed our business plan and then moved on to attempting to become charitable, registering with the Tenant Services Authority and also becoming an investment partner with the Homes and Communities Agency. All of those progressed through 2010, but also in 2010 we became part of the Eden Valley Vanguard group for the government's Big Society.
The site was an industrial site. It was a stoneworks site. It has been for over 130 years. The site was sold in 2003 to Marshalls plc, and they effectively closed it almost on purchase. And ever since then the site's been redundant, has been on the market, and it was in 2010 that the lynnvenet Community Trust actually purchased the site from Marshalls. The brief for the architect was to provide a development that was within keeping of the village, in all aspects of the village as it is. In this site, a commercial developer could come in and build potentially 35 houses. We've restricted it to 22 because we want each house to be individual. The timescales have been particularly tight. We've got to effectively have all of our 20 houses completed by the 31st of March 2012. We have to have start on site by the 11th of April this year, and the mix of housing is a combination of 10 rented properties, 2 shared equity properties, and then there are an additional 8 self-build properties. All of the houses that the lynnvenet Community Trust have got, that have involvement with, have got local occupancy conditions on them of varying degrees. And then there are 2 retained plots that Marshalls have held on to, and they are completely open market plots, and they'll benefit from the sale of those.
Financing of the site was always going to be a challenge for us. We'd been negotiating with the landowners of the site, the owners of the site, for some 18 months. And with the help of Charities Aid Foundation and a capital loan from the Charities Aid Foundation, we actually managed to acquire the site in December. But that really was just the start of the road. We got an indication from the Homes and Communities Agency that there was money available in this financial year, but to achieve that funding we had to have everything in place by the middle of March. And that meant basically going out, seeking the additional funding, £1 million from the charity bank, which will then end up at the end of the scheme as a £500,000 mortgage. And as part of the funding we also have 8 self-build plots which we'll be selling off. On those self-build plots, the income from those will actually cross-subsidise the remainder of the funding for the affordable homes. The support we've had has been invaluable, and certainly without it we would not be where we are now. And the support we've had on a local level from Andy Lloyd and the Cumbria Rural Land Trust has been invaluable from the onset. You know, I'd never heard of a CLT until he came along and explained it to us. We've had ministerial support through the Big Society. You know, whilst we were here before the Big Society has got us to where we are now. Are we Big Society? Well, we were here before the Big Society. I suppose we're a good example of it. We're a community group that's simply trying to do something for its community. We have had a lot of support from Big Society. It has helped us in the way of removing some of the bureaucratic barriers, and I think going forward it will help a lot more for other groups that are actually following behind us. Good question. What made me become involved in the community land trust? I suppose from a personal perspective, I've got family, as have a number of the other members of the group, and you know, we look at the village and think, where are the young people going to live? You know, we've got schools, we've got a pub, we've got the church, we've got the village hall, and with a fairly stagnant population, you know, we look at it and think we need to do something about this. How are we going to achieve it? And that was really the driver initially for me to become involved. We set off with the intentions of providing properties for people that couldn't move into our village because of money and restrictions on finance. It's providing additional accommodation. There's very little turnover of properties. It's bringing new people into the village, which will support all the rest of the elements of the community, the village hall, the church, hopefully the pub when we get that open, which we will, the primary school. So it's all about actually keeping the village alive, but also moving it forward.